I am Dr. Amuda, faculty member from School of Management, Shastra Deemd University. In this session, we shall see the managerial decisions that can be taken by the management with the help of marginal costing technique. First, we shall see the evaluation of performance. A business produces 3 products A, B and C, for which the standard variable cost and budgeted selling prices are as follows. We have the direct material. For A it is 3, B 6 and C it is 8. Then direct wages 4, 4 and 10 respectively. Then variable overheads 3, 5 and 7 respectively. Then selling price we have 18, 25 and 48. In 2 successive periods, sales are as follows. Period 1, for A it is 10,000 units, B 10,000 units and C 10,000 units. In the next period, we have 20,000, 13,000 and 15,000 for A, B and C respectively. The budgeted fixed overheads amounted to rupees 1,35,000 for each period. In spite of the increased sales, the profit for the second period has fallen below that of the first period. Present the figures to the management to show why this fall in profit should or should not have occurred. Now we are going to evaluate the performance between the 2 periods. Which period is said to be profitable? See, we are preparing the evaluation statement. We have product A, product B and product C. So we have 3 products as we have 10,000, 10,000 and 10,000. See here, we have the first period as 10,000, 10,000, 10,000 and we have the second period as 20,000, 13,000 and here 50,000 for C and total it is 38,000. Now selling price per unit, it is given in your previous table. Selling price per unit is 18, 25 and 48. So we have written 18, 25 and 48. We don't have any change in the selling price, so we take the selling price of the products in the second period also as the same. Then sales value, it is given in thousands. Now 18 into 10,000, it is 180,000. Then 20,000 into 18, we have 360,000. Then 25 into 10,000, it is 250,000. 13,000 into 25, 325,000. Then 10,000 into 48, 480,000. 5,000 into 48, it is 240,000. Then 30,000, it is given, it is the total here. It is 910 for your first period and 925 for the second period. Now variable cost per unit, again it is given in your previous slide. That is variable cost, we have to add it here, direct material, wages and variable overheads. So we have added this, then we have written this variable cost per unit as 10, 10, 15, 15, 25, 25. So this is your variable cost in 1000 again multiplied by the respective units. 10 into 10,000, then 20,000 into 10, 10 into 10,000 into 15, then 13,000 into 15, 10,000 into 25, then 5,000 into 25. Now we have the variable cost as total as 500,000 and 520,000. Now we are calculating the contribution per unit, wherein we are going to deduct your variable cost from your selling price. Then this is 80,000, that is 180 minus 100 will get 80,000. Then 360 minus this 200 will get your 160. 250 minus 150 will get 100. Then 325 minus this 195 will get 130. Then 480 minus this 250 will get 230. Here 240 minus this 125 will get 115. So total we get 910 here. Here we have 500. So it is 410. Here it is 925. Here it is 520. So we have 405. Now what is the fixed overhead? That is a constant one, 135 and 135,000. Now net profit is 275 and 270,000. Now see to it here, the contribution has decreased by 5,000. See, it is 410 here, it is 405 here. But the sales value has increased by 15,000. That is 910 here, here 925. Though the sales has increased by 15,000, now the contribution has increased only by 5,000 because the variable cost has increased by 20,000. See here, 520. So because of the increase in the variable cost by 20,000, now we have a decrease in the contribution by 5,000. Now the fixed overhead being the same, the net profit again decreases by 5,000. This PV ratio for product A is 44.4%. That is contribution divided by sales. That is 80 divided by contribution here is 80 divided by your selling price. Then you will get your 44.4. Then again for product B, PV ratio it is calculated 40. It is 47.9 for product C. Now we shall see the interpretation here. As we have already said, sales have increased by 8,000 units, but the sales value has increased by 15,000. But the marginal cost has increased by 20,000 to meet the cost of increased units of production, resulting in the fall in the profit of 5,000. See here, as I have already told, now we have a sales value as an increase of 15,000 here, but the contribution has increased by 20,000. So the variable cost has increased by 20,000. Now the contribution has decreased by 5,000. That is written here. Now product A with C is yielding a highest contribution rate, and it is said to be the most profitable line. And again A is said to be the next and B is said to be the last. See to it. The highest contribution 47.9 is given by C, and next one is by A 44.4, and the last one is your product B, that is 40. That is the line it is given. Product C, which yields the highest percentage of contribution to sales, is the most profitable line, and product A comes next, and product B is said to be the least of all the three. The unsatisfactory position in period 2 is because of the unfavorable sales mix, as the production of most profitable line C has been cut down and the less profitable products A and B has been pushed up. See here, we have the product C as 10,000 is decreased to 5,000 here. But the products of A and B, that is from 10,000 to 20,000 for product A, 10 to 13,000 for product B. So the less profitable items have been increased here. The most profitable items have been decreased here. That's why there is an unfavorable position in case of your period 2. So this is the way in which we have to evaluate the performance of the three products. Next we shall pass on to the second problem. The cost data are the same case, that is evaluation of performance. Cost data for the last year. Sales we have 60 lakhs, which is operating at 75% capacity. Then marginal cost is 50% of your sales, 30 lakhs. Contribution, therefore it is 30 lakhs. 60 minus 30, we have 30 lakhs. Fixed cost, we have 20 lakhs. So the profit is said to be 10 lakhs. That is contribution minus the fixed cost. The profit percentage over your sales is 16.7%. A report on the performance for the year states that sales is 80 lakhs, profit is 16 lakhs, and percentage of profit on sale is 20%. Should the performance of the current year be recommended, what option should be conveyed to the managing director on the basis of the cost volume profit analysis? Now we are going to say whether the report of the statement, the report is said to be reached or not. There is a target is reached or not. Now statement showing the profit for the last year and the profit at a sale of rupees 80 lakhs. Last year performance at 75% capacity, whatever given in this line is now it is put it in the marginal cost statement. Sales is 60 lakhs, marginal cost is 30 lakhs, contribution is 30 lakhs, fixed cost is we have 20 lakhs, so profit is 10 lakh rupees. Now performance on the present activity level, what is expected here? See, it is sales is 80 lakhs here. So sales is 80 lakhs it is given, marginal cost is 50%, contribution is 40 lakhs, fixed cost is 20 lakhs, now the profit is 20 lakhs. Now this 20 lakhs is said to be the profit here. This profit is said to be 1/4, that is 1/4 of the sales. 1/4 of your sales. See here, sales is 80 lakhs. So this is said to be 1/4 of your sales. So that is said to be the 25% of your sales. So we have expected 25% of sales, but you have only 20% of sales. See to your previous slide, and percentage of profit on sale is said to be 20%, but we expect 25% on your sales. So this current year performance is not commendable, and it has not reached 25%. It has reached only 20% of the sales. So this is the way in which we have to compare our last year's performance with your present level performance. Last year performance we have this 16.7%, Now present year we have to achieve 20%, but we are 20% is achieved, but we are expected to achieve 25%. As 25% is not achieved, we say that the current position is not commendable compared with your last year's performance. Next is alternative courses of action. The cost per unit of three products A, B and C of a concern is as follows. We have direct materials 10, 8 and 9, direct labor 6, 7 and 6, variable expenses 4, 5 and 3, fixed expenses 3, 3, 2. So the total cost is 23 for product A, 23 for product B and 20 for product C. So the profit now is the total cost is deducted from your selling price, that is 32. 32 minus 23, profit is 9. Now 30 minus 23, we have 7. 26 minus 20, we have 6. Number of units produced is 10,000, 5,000 and 8,000 for A, B and C respectively. Production arrangements are such that if one product is given up, the production of others can be raised by 50%. That means if A is to be dropped, then B and C will increase by 50%. If B is dropped, A and C will increase by 50%. If C is dropped, A and B will increase by 50%. The directors proposed that C should be given up, and because the contribution in that case is said to be the lowest one. So this contribution 6 rupees is said to be the lowest one. So the directors are having an idea of dropping the product C. Now we have to decide which product is to be dropped, and by comparing the product's contribution. Now fixed expenses is said to be constant for all the period. So we are now calculating the fixed expenses. Now what are all the units that have been given? That is 10,000, 5,000 and 8,000. We have given 10,000, 5,000 and 8,000. Now fixed cost per unit is said to be C3, 3 and 2. So we are calculating the total fixed expenses by multiplying with the respective units. 10,000 units into 3 per unit, it is 30,000 rupees. 5,000 units into 3 per unit, it is 15,000 rupees. Then 8,000 units into 2 per unit, it is 16,000 rupees. So totally we have 61,000 as your fixed expenses. Now we are going to calculate what is the contribution per unit. Contribution per unit we are going to calculate selling price minus your marginal cost. What is your marginal cost? See to it. Except with the fixed expenses, we are going to calculate the marginal cost. That is 10 plus 6 plus 4, it will come to 20. Then 8 plus 7 plus 5, it will come to 20 again. Then 9 plus 6 plus 3, it will come to 18. So that is your marginal cost. You have a selling price of 32, 30 and 26. So we are now calculating here. 32 it is given. 30, 26 minus your marginal cost as we have calculated. 20, 20 and 80. So we have here contribution per unit as 12, 10 and 8 for product A, B and C. Now we are going to say which one is to be dropped first. Now we can calculate first what will be the total profit if A is dropped. As we already told, if A is dropped, the output of B and C will increase by 50%. So if A is given up, B and C will increase by 50%. This should be 50%. 50% of 5,000 is we have 7,500. That is, we have to add 5,000 plus 50% will get 7,500 units. The same way, 8,000 plus 50% of 8,000 will get 12,000 units. Now, we have the contribution given, calculated here, 10 and 8. So, B's contribution will be 7,500 into 10. C's contribution is 12,000 units into 8. So, we have 75,000 and 96,000. So, add up your total contribution, it is 1,71,000. Now, fixed expenses we have already calculated as 61,000. Now, deduct it, we'll get 1,10,000 as your total profit. So, if product A is given up, B and C has increased by 50% and it gives a profit of 1,10,000. Now, we shall see what are the other two scenarios wherein B is dropped and C is dropped. See, if the product B is given up, the production of A and C will be increased by 50%. That is, A's output will be 10,000 plus 50% of 10,000, it will be 15,000 units. Then C's output is 8,000 plus 50% of 8,000 will get 12,000 units. Once again, we are going to calculate the contribution of A and C. As we already calculated your contribution per unit as 12 and 8 here, now we are going on to the total contribution. A's contribution is 15,000 units at rupees 12. So it will be 1,80,000. Then C's contribution at rupees 8 for 12,000 units, it will be 96,000. So totally you will get 2,76,000. As we already calculated your total fixed expenses are 61,000. We have 2,15,000 as your contribution if B is given up. Then we will pass on to this third scenario wherein C is given up. When C is given up, the production of A and B will increase by 50%. Now A's output is 10,000 plus 50% of 10,000, so it will be 15,000 units. Then B's output is 50% of your 5,000, 2,500 plus 5,000 will get 7,500. As usual, we are going to calculate a contribution of A at rupees 12 for 15,000 units and for B 10 rupees for 7,500 units. So it will be 1,80,000 and 75,000. It will get 2,55,000. Now total fixed expenses is 61,000. We have calculated. So it will come to 1,94,000. Now see to it. If A is given up, we have 2,10,000. If B is given up, we have 2,15,000. If C is given up, we will get 1,94,000. Now we are going to compare which one is to be profitable now. See, 3 production arrangements we have seen the profit is maximum when B is given up. So when B is given up, we have 2,15,000. But the managing directors had an idea of dropping product C. So when the product C is dropped, your profit is decreasing and it is said to be the lowest one at 1,94,000. Now if A is dropped, we have 2,10,000. If B is dropped, we have 2,15,000. If C is dropped, 1,94,000. In this problem, we said that the directors are having an idea of dropping product C. If C is dropped, the profit is 1,94,000, which is said to be the least profit. But we have a maximum profit if product B is dropped, that is 2,15,000. So we have an idea of dropping B instead of C. Next, we shall pass on to another decision, namely the export order. The cost of manufacturing company for a product is, now we have a materials for 12 rupees, labor 9 rupees, variable expenses 6 rupees and fixed expenses 18 rupees. We have a total of 45 rupees. The unit of product sold is 51 rupees. The component's normal capacity is 1 lakh units. The figures given above are for 80,000 units. So all these figures given is for 80,000 units, but your total capacity is 1 lakh units. The company has received an offer of 20,000 units at rupees 36 per unit from a foreign customer. So currently the company is operating at 80,000 units. They have an extra capacity of 20,000 units because the total capacity is 1 lakh units. Now they are getting an order from a foreign customer for the utilization of your idle capacity, and it is at 36 per unit. So advise the manufacturer on whether the order should be accepted and also give advice if the order is taken from a local merchant. Now we shall first calculate what will be the marginal cost for the additional 20,000 units. Now materials we have 12 rupees, labor 9 rupees, variable expenses 6 rupees. See to it is given on the previous page, that is 12, 9 and 6. So that is written here, that is 12 and 9 and 6. So this is your variable cost, and that is otherwise the marginal cost. Now we are calculating what is the variable cost for 20,000 units. 20,000 into 12, it is 2,40,000. 20,000 into 9, 1,80,000. 20,000 into 6 will have 1,20,000. So we have a marginal cost of 5,40,000. So what will be the additional revenue realized? What is your cost here? It is foreign customer is going to give 36 per unit. So we have here 20,000 units. So 20,000, it is 20,000 into 36 per unit. Into 36 per unit. So this will be said as 7,20,000. So this is 20,000 into 36 per unit, 7,20,000. Marginal cost, we have arrived at 5,40,000 units. So what is your net additional revenue? We get 1,80,000. So when you are going to accept your foreign order, it is better that you will get 1,80,000 as your extra revenue. Now we are going to decide. We have recommended the export order to be accepted because instead of keeping your idle capacity, we can go on for the utilization of your idle capacity, and we can have an export order at a dual pricing. That is one price for your domestic market and another price for your export market. See to it, in the domestic market we have 51 rupees and for the export market we have 36 rupees. So we have a dual pricing for one price for your domestic and another price for your export. So when we have this export order to be accepted, we have on 1,80,000 as your extra revenue. Now we are going to answer that next line. Also give your advice if the order is from a local merchant. Now assume that if it comes from a local merchant, we cannot give two different prices for two different customers in a local market itself. So it has to be considered considered by the management whether this to be made or not. Normally it is not accepted. Now the offer should be accepted because it gives an additional contribution of 1,80,000. The total profit will also increase by 1,80,000 because we don't want to, we don't have a need for incurring an additional expense for the fixed cost. Because we have a normal capacity for 1 lakh units, the fixed expenses is common for the entire 1 lakh units, and the fixed expenses are being recovered in the domestic market itself. So there is no need for recovery of fixed expenses in the foreign market or a foreign order. So this can be accepted. Furthermore, the order from the local customer should not be accepted because we have 36 per unit and a rate below the normal price. So it will result in a general reduction of your selling prices of the product. Now, the acceptance of your additional order should not lead to production being in excess. That is to be taken care of. If the acceptance of your foreign order is going to be more than your 1 lakh units, then you will have a jump in your fixed cost. We have an increase in the fixed cost and that has to be considered. So if this is the utilization of your idle capacity, this foreign order can be accepted. That is the thing it is given here. Acceptance of additional order should not lead to production in excess of your present capacity, since in this case some fixed expenses may also go up substantially. If there is such an increase in fixed expenses, the increase should also be considered by the inclusion of the total additional cost to be compared with your total additional revenue. So this is the way in which we are going to analyze the export order. Now we can have the another problem in the export order itself. The budget has been prepared at 70% level of your home market. We have units at 4,200, wages for 600, materials 21,000, fixed cost 7,000, variable cost 2,500, total cost it is 42,500. Now the selling price in India is 15 rupees and we have another order from Sri Lanka. About 800 units can be sold only at 10 rupees, and in addition to 25 pice per unit will be the expenses and freight, etc. So we are going to add another expense, that is a freight expense for the Sri Lankan order itself. Do you advise trying for the market in Sri Lanka, whether the Sri Lankan market can be accepted or not? See here, first one is Indian order, that is we have 4,200 units. Sri Lankan order 800 units, total order is 5,000 units. Now units selling prices, we have 4,200 units and then we have a rate of your sales rate is here 15 rupees. So 15 into your number of units 4,200 units. For your Sri Lankan it is 10 rupees. See here, it is 10 rupees, it is multiplied. So we have a sales of rupees 71,000. Materials it is 5 per unit. So 5 per unit is arrived here. That is what is here 21,000 divided by your 4,200 units will get your 5 per unit. So it is 21,000. So this 5 per unit is multiplied by your 800 units. 4,000 we will get. So we will get total of 25,000. The same way wages is 3 per unit. We'll have multiplied by your 4,200 units and your 800 units will get 15,000. Then variable cost it is 50 pice per unit. So it is 2,100. Here it is 400, 2,500. That is multiplied by your respective units. Now, what is your price for your Sri Lankan market? So it is given here. See here, for the Sri Lankan market, we have an addition of 25 pice per unit. So that 25 pice per unit has to be added here. Price only for Sri Lankan order, 25 pice per unit is 200. Now total of your marginal cost is inclusive of your materials, wages and variables and freight for your Sri Lankan market. It is 35,700 and 7,000. We get 42,700. Now contribution is 63,000 minus this 35,700, we'll get 27,300. Now 8,000 minus this 7,000, we'll get 1,000. Now 71,000 minus this 42,700, we'll get 28,300. Now what is your fixed cost? 7,000. As we have said in the previous problem, the fixed cost will be covered in the Indian market itself, domestic market itself. So we need not cover the fixed expenses in the export market. That is your Sri Lankan market here. 7,000 is your total fixed cost. So we'll have your contribution. This is your profit. This is left on. This is your profit. Profit, it is 2,300 for your Indian market, 1,000 for your Sri Lankan market. So it is 21,300. Now it is set at 1,000 rupees is set here profit from your Sri Lankan market. So this 1,000 rupees will increase your profit. Let us say, for example, here 2,300 is increased by 1,000. We'll get 21,300. So it is advisable to take over the Sri Lankan market in spite of your increase in your freight charges. See, we have a freight charge of 200 here. Though we have an increase in the freight charge, we have an increase in the profit also by 1,000 rupees. So this Sri Lankan order can be easily accepted. Next is we pass on to the shutdown decision. Meat and Company Limited has 3 divisions, each of which makes a different product. The budget data for the next year is as follows. Now we have divisions A, B and C. We have sales 1,12,000, 56,000 for B, 84,000 for C. Direct material 14,000 for A, 7,000 for B, 14,000 for C. Direct labor 5,600 for A, 7,000 for B, then 22,400 for C. Then variable overhead 14,000 for A, 7,000 for B, 28,000 for C. Fixed cost 28,000 for A, 14,000 for B, 28,000 for C. Then total cost we have 61,600, 35,000 and 92,400. The management is considering to close down the division C. There is no possibility of reducing the variable cost. Advise whether or not the division C should be closed down. So they have an option of closing down the division C. Now we are going to see whether the divisions can be closed or not. See, marginal cost statement should be prepared along with the help of your information given. That is, we have sales, less your materials, less labor, less your variable cost. We'll get your variable overhead. We'll get a marginal cost total. Then we'll get the contribution when it is deducted from sales. Then we have the fixed cost and we'll have the profit. It is given here 1,12,000 for A, B it is 556,000, C it is 84,000. And then this is your marginal cost when you add your direct material, direct cost and your variable overhead. That is 33,600, 21,000 for B, 64,400 for C. Contribution is 1,12,000 is the sales for A, 33,600 is the marginal cost. So you'll get 78,400 is your contribution for A. Then for B, 56,000 minus this 21,000, we get 35,000. Then for C, 84,000 minus 64,400 will get 19,600. Then fixed cost we have 28,000, 14,000 and 28,000. That is given in the problem itself. See here it is 28,000. This is 14,000 and 28,000. So this is written here. That is their fixed cost. Now profit 5,400, 21,000. Then there is a loss of 8,400 for your C. That is, your fixed cost is more than the contribution. That's why we have a loss of 8,400. As the division C incurs a loss of rupees 8,400, it is suggested to close down. See here, it is asked whether the management is asking your advice whether to close down the division C or not. So we are just going for the, there is no possibility of reducing the variable cost also. We don't have the possibility of reducing the variable cost. So we are going to incur the same variable cost. So it results in a loss of rupees 8,400. And we have a separate cost for it. Suppose if we have a common cost, then we can decide with the contribution. But we have a separate fixed cost for C. This fixed cost is to be recovered from the C itself. That's why we are considering the fixed cost here. So it results in an 8,400 as a loss. So as it results in the loss of rupees 8,400, it is better to drop down for division C as the management desires. Next decision is again the shutdown decision. Asian Paint manufacture 10,000 tins of paint when working at a normal capacity. It incurs the cost of rupees 16 in a manufacturing one unit. The details of this cost are given below. We have particulars regarding the direct material, direct labor, variable overheads, fixed overheads, and we have the production cost per unit, that is 16 rupees, added with all your materials cost, labor cost, variable cost on your fixed, that is 7.5, 2 rupees, 2.5, 4 rupees, will get 16 rupees. Each unit of the product is sold for rupees 20 with a variable selling and administrative expenses of rupees 55 per unit of production. So the 16 rupees is up to the production cost, and we have an extra cost of 55 for your selling and administrator, and the selling price is 20 rupees. Now we are going to see to the decision to be taken. What is the decision that has to be taken by the management? During the next 3 months, only 500 units can be produced and sold. So for the next 3 months, they have a limitation that only 500 units can be produced and sold. Management plans to close down the factory, estimating that the fixed manufacturing cost can be reduced to 20,000 or 2,000 rupees for the quarter. So the management is planning to close down the factory for 3 months, wherein when it closes, they can have a saving of your 2,000 rupees for the fixed manufacturing cost. When the plant is operating, a fixed overhead is incurred at a uniform rate throughout the year. An additional cost of the plant shutdown for the 3 months is estimated to be 2,800. So when you are going to close down the plant, then you are going to incur this additional cost of 2,800. Express your view whether the plant should be shut down for 3 months and calculate the shutdown point for 3 months in the units of your products. First, we shall prepare the contribution per unit. That is based on your table here. See here, this is your table. So we are 7.5, 2 rupees, 2.5. So we are 7.5 plus 2, it is 9.5. 2.5, it is 10, that is 12. So we'll get 12 rupees as your marginal cost. Your sales is your 20 rupees, so we'll have a contribution of 8, and we have a selling and administrative expenses of 55, so we'll get 7.5 as your contribution. See here, variable and selling administration is added here, so it will be 12.5, so we'll have a contribution of 7.5 rupees. That is 7 rupees 55. For the computation of loss, so first we are going to calculate if the plant is operated. That is, when you are going to operate your plant, 500 units are estimated to be produced. It is given in here, that is, see here, during next month, only 500 units can be produced. So they have given 500 units. Now contribution is, we have calculated 7 rupees 55 for 1 unit. Therefore, for 500 units, you will get 3,750 as your contribution. Then fixed cost for the 3 months, they have given as, say, the fixed cost is 10,000 rupees. Say fixed cost, it is 4 rupees. 4 rupees into 4 rupees into 10,000 units. So it is 40,000. See here, 4 rupees into 10,000 units. This is your units. This is units. This is your rupees. Now this is rupees. This is for 3 months. It is 12 months. It is 40,000. Therefore, for 3 months, it is 10,000 rupees. That is your fixed cost. Then expected cost on operation is, you will get contribution minus your fixed cost. What is your contribution? We have contribution is 3,750. We will have a fixed cost of 10,000. So this is your extra cost you are going to incur. That is 6,250. Computation of loss. And the plant is shut down. The plant is shut down. It is given. You are going to have a 2,000 rupees and 2,800 rupees. See here. It is given, and the plant is operating, the fixed costs are incurred at a uniform rate throughout the year. That's why we have calculated 10,000 units into 4 into 3 by 12. Now additional cost is 2,000 rupees they are going to, even if it is closed off, it is estimated that the fixed manufacturing cost we get 2,000 rupees and an additional cost of plant is 2,800. So this is calculated here. If it is shut down, we are going to incur 2,000 rupees and 2,800. So total loss is 4,800. Now if the plant is to be operated, we have a loss of 6,250. If the plant is going to be shut down, we have a loss of 4,800. Now we have to compare these two amounts, whether the loss is, when the loss is minimum. So when the loss is minimum, it is 4,800, so it is better to shut down. Advice: from the calculation, it is clear that in the interest of the company, it is better to shut down. Now we have to calculate the shutdown point. Well, how to be calculated the shutdown point? Now, our avoidable fixed cost for the period is total fixed cost for the period minus your unavoidable fixed cost minus your additional cost for the shutdown. So we'll get 5,200. This is to be the avoidable fixed cost, because this 10,000 rupees is to be permanently incurred. And then this is your 2,000 rupees we cannot avoid. Again 2,800 we cannot avoid. So 5,200 is said to be the total fixed cost. Now this fixed cost is for 3 months. See, we have calculated here for 3 months. So this 3 months here we have taken as 10,000 minus 2,000. Now minus 2,800, it is 5,800. So 5,800 divided by 7.5. That is your contribution per unit. It is said to be 693 units. So 6,000, when you are going to produce 693 units, it is better to shut down your plant. So when we calculate the fixed cost which is said to be avoidable fixed cost has to be calculated. 10,000 is for the 3 months. So unavoidable cost is given in the problem as 2,000 and 2,800. So 5,200 is said to be the avoidable fixed cost. So avoidable fixed cost divided by the contribution per unit, it will get 693 units. So when we are going to produce 693 units, we can shut down. So beyond that, you will incur a loss. Next is capital investment decisions. A practicing chartered accountant now spends rupee 90 paise per kilometer on taxi fares for his client work. He is considering two other alternatives: the purchase of a new small car or an older bigger car. Now we have 3 alternatives here. First one is he is going by taxi. That is, we have a taxi, he is going by taxi. The next one is they go for a small car, new small car or old big car. Now the estimated cost of the figures were, in case of small car, the cost of the purchase is 35,000, big car it is 20,000. Sale price after 5 years it is 19,000, here it is 12,000. Repairs and servicing per annum it is 1,000 rupees, it is 1,200 here. Taxes, insurance per annum is 1,700, here it is 700. Petrol consumption per liter is 10 kilometers. So small car gives 10 kilometers for 1 liter. In the big car gives only 7 kilometers per liter. Petrol price is 3.5 rupees per liter. He estimates that he does 10,000 kilometers annually. So which of these 3 alternatives will be cheaper? If his practice expands and he has to do 19,000 kilometers per annum, what would be the decision? At how many kilometers per annum will the cost of 2 cases break even, and why? Ignore your interest on income tax. So 3 decisions we have to first take. First one is, with the 10,000 kilometers, we are going to say which alternative is best. Whether the going by taxi or having a small car or having a big car. Then for 19,000 kilometers, we are going to decide now. Then later, and what will be the break-even point here. Now, first one is comparative statement of your new car, big car and a taxi. Purchase price is given in the problem as 35,000 and 20,000. See here, it is 35,000 and 20,000. Then less selling price after 5 years, 19 and 12. It is given in the second line, 19 and 12. So we have a, depreciation, that is the difference is said to be the depreciation for 5 years. So it is after 5 years. So for 5 years, 16,000 and 8,000 is the depreciation. Then depreciation for 1 year, it is 3,200 and 1,600. That is, this is divided by 5. So when you divide this as 5, we'll get 3,200 and 1,600. Then repairs and servicing, it is given on the problem as 1,000 and 1,200. Then taxes and insurance, 1,700 and 700. Now this is your, total cost, fixed cost for the 1 year. That is 5,900 and 3,500. That is 3,200, 1,000, 1,700. We'll get 5,900. then 1600, 1200 and 700 will get 3500. Now we are going to calculate the variable cost, that is your petrol cost. Petrol cost for 10,000 kilometers we are going to calculate now. Small car gives see here, small car gives 10 kilometers and big car gives 7 kilometers. Petrol price is 3.5 paise, 50 paise. Now, if the small car for 10,000 kilometers, it is 10,000 by 10, we'll get 1,000. So, 1,000 into 3.5, we'll get 3,500. Then we'll get 10,000 by 7. Then we'll get into 3.5, we'll get 5,000 rupees. Now, for 19,000, so 19,000 kilometers we have to calculate now. We are calculating it for 19,000. We'll get 6,650 and 9,500. Now, that is 19,000 by 10 into 3.5, then 19,000 by 7 into 3.5. Now, total cost is for fixed and variable. So, fixed cost we have given. Now, total cost for your 10,000 kilometers is this 5,900 and 3,500. So, we'll get 9,400. Now, 3,500 plus 5,000 will get 8,500. Then for 19,000 we'll get 6,650 plus this 5,900 will get 12,550. Then 3,500 plus 9,500 will get 13,000. So this is your total cost for your small car and your big car. Now what about the taxi now? So when he is having 10,000 kilometers, the taxi fare is given 90 paise. So it will come to 9,000. When he is traveling 19,000 kilometers, the taxi fare comes to 1,700. Now see to it which cost is minimal. So which cost is minimal here? This 12,550 having a small car is said to be minimal. This is your cost for your small car, this is cost for your big car, and this is said to be the cost for your taxi fare for 19,000. So when 19,000 is taken, this is said to be the minimal. But when we take 10,000, which one is minimal? This 8,500, the big car is said to be minimal. So this is the way we have to take a decision. For present practice requiring 10,000 kilometers, a old big car is cheapest at the annual cost of 8,500, which is said to be the lowest of the three alternatives. See, we have seen this 8,500 is said to be the minimal for the big car. Now, if the practice expands to 19,000 kilometers, small car is cheapest. As we said, the small car 12,550 is said to be the cheapest. Then calculation of the kilometers, which the cost of two cars will break even. Now we are going to calculate what is the variable cost of your small car. So small car we have calculated 3,500 divided, will get 35 paise. For the big car, again we have 5,000 divided by 10,000, we'll have 50 paise. Now difference in your variable cost is 15 paise. See the variable cost it is given, I'll show. This variable cost we have variable cost for your petrol. That is the cost we have taken here. So this is the, see here 3,500 and 5,000. So 3,500 we have taken, that is for 10,000 kilometers, 5,000 for 10,000 kilometers, so 35 paise and 50 paise. So the difference is 15 paise. So difference in your fixed cost is again 2,400. Difference in fixed cost divided by your, difference in price. That is your 16,000 kilometers. So this 16,000 kilometers will be said to be the, 1,600 kilometers I think so. It is 0.5 it will be. So 16,000 kilometers, the total cost of the two cars is, we have fixed cost as 5,900. We'll get, it is 16,000 only. It is 35 paise, 5,600, we have 8,000. So we'll get 11,500 and 11,500. So when you are going to travel at 16,000 kilometers, both the cars are said to be same cost. So when we are going to have the, a practice for 16,000 kilometers, either the new car or your old car is said to be the, and the cost of your using your old car or a new car is said to be the same. But when we come to the 10,000 kilometers, the big car is beneficial. When you go for 19,000 kilometers, the small car is said to be beneficial. But when we go for 16,000 kilometers, both the cars are the same. This is the way we are going to decide. The next is diversification of production. The following data are available in respect of product A manufactured by Pankaj Limited. Now the sales is 2,50,000, direct materials 1 lakh, direct wages 50,000, variable overheads 25,000, fixed overheads 50,000. The company now proposes to introduce a new product B so that the sales may be increased by 50,000 rupees. There will be no increase in fixed costs, and the estimated variable cost of the product B are direct materials 24,000, direct wages 11,000, variable overhead 7,000. Advise whether product B will be profitable or not. Now we have product A. Now they are going to have another new product B. Now we are going to calculate the existing profitability. Now existing product is A. So we have sales of 2,50,000, direct materials 1 lakh, direct wages 50,000, variable overheads 25. So we deduct it, we'll get contribution. There's your fixed overhead, we'll get your profit. See here, 1 lakh, 50,000 is the direct wages, variable overhead is 25,000, marginal cost we have 1,75,000. We have sales here, so contribution is 75,000. Now fixed cost is 50,000, profit is 25,000. Now what is the statement of marginal cost under their proposed position? We have product A already existing. So this column is already we have discussed here. 1 lakh minus 50 and 25. So 175 is your marginal cost, 2,50,000 is your sales, then contribution 75,000. Now when product B is introduced, they have given direct materials, direct wages and variable overhead. See to it. Direct wages, direct materials and your direct overhead we have given 24, 11 and 7. And the sales will increase by 50,000 rupees. See here, the sales will increase by 50,000 rupees. It is given. Now we have a contribution of 8,000 rupees. Now we have fixed overhead. We don't have any fixed overhead here. Fixed overhead is common as 50,000. So we have a profit of 25,000. So assuming that the spare capacity cannot be used for any other purpose except for producing B. So we assume that the product B can be used for your used with your capacity available. It is advisable to undertake the production of product B. It shall give a contribution of 8,000 rupees towards your fixed cost on your profit. So we have a contribution to the tune of 8,000 rupees. So utilizing a spare capacity for B is said to be advisable. So diversification of production demand with the existing capacity, we are going in for another product, and along with the existing product, we can go for the additional product. And if the additional product gives some contribution which covers your fixed overhead and your profit, it is better to go with your production of your additional product. In this problem, we have 8,000 rupees as an additional contribution which contributes to the total coverage of your fixed overhead and your profit. So the profit is now 25,000. It is better to go for your product B. Next is we shall have the alternative methods of your manufacture. Product A can be manufactured either by machine 1 or machine 2. Machine 1 can provide 10 units of A per hour. Machine 2 can provide 20 units of A per hour. Total machine hours available is 3,000 per annum. Taking into account the following comparative cost and selling price, and determine the profitable method of manufacture. Now per unit of product A, we have machine A and machine 2. We have direct materials 30 rupees for machine 1, 30 rupees for machine 2. Direct wages 15 rupees for machine 1, 18 rupees for machine 2. Overheads we have variable 18 rupees for machine 1, 21 rupees for machine 2. Fixed overheads 5 rupees for machine 1, 5 rupees for machine 2. We have a total cost of 68 rupees for machine 1 and 74 rupees for machine 2. Now selling price is 90 rupees and 90 rupees. Now we are going to decide which machine is said to be profitable one. So product A can be produced either by machine 1 or machine 2. Now we are going to see which product is going to give a maximum contribution. Now product machine 1 produces 10 units per hour. Now machine 2 produces 20 units per hour, and total machine hours available is only 3,000 per annum. Now statement of profitability, we have total machine hours available, it is given in the problem as 3,000 per annum. Contribution, as we already said, 10 units per hour, this is 20 units per hour. Now total output is, if 10 units is for 1 hour, what is for 3,000 hours, we'll get 30,000 units. Then we have 20 units into 3,000, we have 60,000 units. Selling price, it is given as 90 rupees. See here, it is given as 90 rupees. And we have marginal cost as direct wages, overhead and variable. So we have written here direct wages, materials and variable overhead. So this is your total variable overhead for machine 1 and machine 2. 63 rupees for machine 1 and 69 rupees for machine 2. That is 30 plus 15 plus 18 will get 63. 30 plus 18 plus 21 will get 69. Now deducted from your selling price will have a contribution of 27 and 21 rupees respectively for machine 1 and machine 2. Hourly contribution is 27 rupees into 10 units. This is for 20 units. So this is for 1 unit. We are taken for 1 unit. So we are calculating for 1 hour. Now this is your hourly contribution, 270 rupees and 420 rupees. Now annual contribution is into multiplied by your total hours per annum, 3000 hours into 270, 3000 hours into 420. So this is 8,10,000, this is 12,60,000. Now this is your total contribution. Now the contribution of machine 2 is said to be the highest one as 12,60,000 rupees is earned. Here only 8,10,000. So machine 2 is said to be more profitable as it gives the maximum contribution. So the available hours is 3,000 hours. We'll have 10 units. So we are calculating for units now, 30,000 units and 60,000 units. Now the cost is given for 1 unit. Now we are calculating contribution per unit, again multiplied by the number of units to be produced per hour to get a hourly contribution. Now again multiplied by the number of hours available, you'll get your total contribution for machine 1 and machine 2. Now as we have calculated, machine 2 gives a maximum contribution of 12,60,000. So this is to be accepted now. Machine 1 is said to be most beneficial. Now we shall see the next decision making wherein the selling price is fixed below the marginal cost. We can see the situations wherein the selling price is fixed below the marginal cost to meet with the other situations. We'll see about the situations here to introduce a new product in the market. So this is said to be a penetration strategy. That is, we'll start with the lowest price. Though it is not covering the marginal cost, we'll penetrate into the market and try to sustain in the market. That is, sustain the competition in the market. Next is to popularize your particular product, to explore your foreign markets. When you go for your foreign markets, even when you're below your marginal cost, you can go for your accepting your foreign orders. Then to eliminate the competition from the market. So you want to, eliminate if your new entrant is coming in the market, then you want to withstand or you want to drive away the new entrant, then you will go for your cutting of your prices below your marginal cost. Then to help the sale of your joint products. Joint products for in a single manufacturer, you may have 2 or more products of equivalent value. Say for example, in case of sugarcane, we can have sugar, jaggery and other items wherein the said to be joint products are an equivalent products, wherein it is said to be of equivalent value. So when you are going to sell the joint products, then the prices can be fixed below your marginal cost. To avoid your retrenchment of workers, when you want to retain your workers and you don't want to send the surplus laborers, then you have to sell below your marginal cost. To dispose of the product of perishable nature. So when the product is of perishable nature and you cannot maintain the product beyond a particular time limit, then you can go for your selling below your marginal cost. Then you will utilize your idle capacity. When your spare capacity is remaining idle, instead of putting the machine as idle as we have seen in the previous problem, we can go for your utilization of spare capacities or your idle capacities at a different prices. That is not in your normal price. You can go for your different prices and you can use the capacity also to keep the plant and machinery in a running conditions. So you won't place your machineries idle. You want to have a machineries to be running to retain your old customers and prevent your loss of future orders. So when you want to retain your customers base, then you can go for your cutting of your prices to avoid your extra losses by closing down the business. As you already said, instead of shutting down, you can go for your reduction in your selling price. Then to dispose of your surplus stocks. Surplus stocks means when you have an excessive stock, when you want to maintain the excessive stock within your godown itself, then it will go for your deterioration in the qualities and other losses. So we can go for your disposing of your stock even at the lower prices to at least to cover the minimum cost of your production. Now pricing during stiff competition and trade depression. Marginal cost of a product is 5 rupees per unit and fixed expenses amounted to rupees 1 lakh rupees. Selling price is 6 rupees and 50,000 units can be sold at this price. Now marginal cost is 5, selling price is 6, so we have a contribution of 1 rupee. Now 50,000 units at 5 rupees per unit, we'll get 2,50,000, fixed expenses 1 lakh rupees, so total cost we have 3,50,000. Now we are going to say whether the pricing can be, what is the price to be maintained here. Now see here, cost per unit is 3,50,000 divided by 50,000 units, we'll get 7 rupees. But the selling price is only 6. So below the total cost of 7 rupees. But it is advantageous to sell it at 6 rupees because the sales value is 3 lakh rupees. At rupees 6, if we have 50,000 units, we have 3 lakh rupees. But the total cost calculated about is 3,50,000. So we have a loss of 50,000. So at the outset, we said have a loss of 50,000. But this loss is to be compared with the other expenses, namely the fixed expenses. Suppose if the product is discontinued, we are going to have a loss of fixed expenses of 1 lakh rupees. So if the product is continued, we can cover this amount. So the loss will be only 50,000 rupees. The loss is reduced if the product is continued, because when you are going to continue the product, the machineries are to be utilized now. So the fixed cost can also be recovered. So in this case, 50,000 loss can reduce your fixed cost. So we have 50,000 here. So loss due to fixed expenses, if product is discontinued, is 50,000. But loss is reduced. The loss is reduced. We don't have any gain. But the loss is reduced if the product is continued. So 1 lakh minus 50,000, we'll get 50,000. So it is better to continue even during the stiff competition. Next is selling below your cost decision. Xpile Limited is running its plant at a 50% capacity. The management has supplied you the following details. We have materials 4 rupees, direct labor 2 rupees, variable overhead 6 rupees, fixed overhead it is fully absorbed 4 rupees. We have a total of 16 rupees. Production per month is 40,000 units. Now the total cost of production is 40,000 units into 6 per unit. We have 6,40,000. Now sales is 14 rupees per unit. We have 3,60,000. So we have a loss of 80,000 rupees. And an exporter offers a purchase of 10,000 units at rupees 13 per unit. And the company is hesitating to accept the offer due to the fear that it will increase its already large operating losses. Advise whether the company should accept or decline this offer. Now local sales we have 14 rupees. See here it is 14 rupees it is given. Sales at 14 rupees. Variable cost is 12 rupees. 12 rupees it is 4 plus 2 plus 6. See here this 4 plus 2 plus 6, that is your 14 rupees. Variable cost we have 12 rupees and we have the selling price is 14 rupees. The variable cost is 12 rupees. This 12 rupees we have this 6 plus 4 plus 2, we have 12 rupees. Then contribution per unit is 2 rupees. Total contribution is 40,000 units and rupees 2, we have 80,000 rupees. So loss at present is we have 80,000. So this is your local sales. Export sales we have given 13 rupees we have mentioned here, and that is export offers is 13 rupees per unit. It is given here as 13 rupees. Now it is variable cost is 12 rupees. So we have a contribution of 1 rupee. So total contribution is 10,000 units into 1 rupee, we have 10,000 units. So already we have 80,000 rupees loss. Now we have a contribution of 10,000. So we have this contribution will reduce your loss. So it will comes to 70,000 as your loss. As the loss is reduced by 10,000 rupees, the company can go for your accepting the offer. Then accepting special offers. The Everest Snow Company manufactures and sells direct to the consumers 10,000 jars of Everest Snow per month at rupees 1.25 per jar. The company's normal production capacity is 20,000 jars of snow per month. So the company can produce 20,000 jars per month. Analysis of cost of 10,000 jars. Direct material it is 1 rupee. Direct labor it is 2.475. Power 140. Then jars we have 600. Then miscellaneous supply it is 0.430. Then fixed expenses of manufacturing, selling and administration 7.955. So total will get 12.600. The company has received an offer for the export under a different brand name of 1,20,000 jars of snow at 10,000 jars per month at 75 pice per jar. Now see here, the normal production capacity is 20,000 jars. So in a local we have 10,000 jars per month they are producing at present. They are selling it as 1.25, but the total cost is here it is given 12.600. Now this is your total capacity here. Now we are accepting a different brand name 1,20,000 jars, but they have to produce 10,000 jars. Already they are producing 10,000. Now with a special order we are going to produce another 10,000 to meet your normal capacity of 20,000 jars. See here, marginal cost statement. Per unit they have given here. Sales price is 1.25, and we have direct material, direct labor, power, miscellaneous supplies, and we have a jar. Now the present capacity is 50% for 10,000 units. Multiplied by the respective units, we have this amount: 1,000, 2,475, 140, 430, and 600. So you have a total of 4,645. Now we have the proposed another sub 50% capacity. We have 1,000, 2,475, again 140, 430, and 600. Again we have 4,645. As it is 50-50, they are getting the same number. Now fixed cost is 7,855. Now we have 2,855. This is your fixed cost. This is your contribution. 7,855 and 2,855 is said to be your contribution. Fixed cost we are covering in your present capacity itself, resulting in a loss of rupees 100. Now for the proposed one, we have a profit of 2,855. Adjusting with the loss, we are going to get 2,755. So we have, this is your total column wherein we are going to add all your marginal cost on your contribution. Now we see here 10,710 is your contribution. We have a 2,755. Now the loss of this 100 of your present capacity is adjusted with your proposed capacity. So the proposed capacity can be accepted. Here it is given at the present level of activity, that is 10,000 units, there is a loss of rupees 100 in spite of the fact that the variable cost is 0.4645 against a selling price of rupees 1.25 per unit. The reason is that the total cost per unit including a fixed cost is 1.26. But if additional 10,000 units are sold, it converts a loss of rupees 100 into a profit of 2,755. In spite of the fact that additional offer for 10,000 units is 75 pice per unit only. See here, we have a selling price is 75 pice, but we don't have this. We don't have this same selling price. Next is this. So because of the fact that additional sales gives a contribution of 2,855. And additional sales gives a contribution and no additional fixed costs are involved, the offer can be accepted. Now determination of optimum level of activity. A factory engaged in manufacturing plastic buckets is working at 40% capacity and produces 10,000 buckets per annum. We have a material of 10 rupees, labor cost is 3 rupees, overhead is 5 rupees, wherein 60% is fixed. The selling price is 20 per bucket. If it is decided to work the factory at 50% capacity, the selling price falls by 3%. At 90% capacity, the selling price falls by 5%, accompanied by a similar fall in the prices of the material. You are required to calculate the profit at 50% to 90% capacities and also calculate the break-even points for the capacity productions. See here, we are going to calculate the output at 40% capacity is 10,000 units. Then we are going to calculate what is the output at 50,000 units. 50% capacity. So this is 10,000 is for 40%. What is for 50%? We'll get 12,500 units. Then output at 90% capacity. 10,000 is for 40%. Then what is for 90%? We'll get 22,500 units. So we are writing this capacity here. That is for 50% capacity and 90% capacity. Now sales is, you see here, sales it is given at 50% capacity, the selling price falls by 3%. Now this 20 rupees is the selling price. So we are falling by 3%, 3 by 100 into your 20. That is 20 minus 3% of 20. So you'll get 19.40. That is multiplied by your number of units, we'll get 2,42,500. Now for your 90%, the selling price falls by 5%. So 20 minus 5% of 20, you get 19 rupees. That is 1 rupee is your deduction. So we'll have 19 rupees. Multiplied by your number of units 22,500, we'll get 427,500. Then variable cost is 10 rupees. So for your 50%, we don't have any change, but in your 90%, we have a similar price fall in the prices of material. So 5% is to be deducted here. So 10 rupees minus 5% of 10, we'll get 9.5. So multiplied by your number of units, we'll get 1,25,000 for 50% capacity for 12,500 units and 2,13,750 for 22,500 units at 90% capacity. See variable overhead. It is labor cost is 3 now. Labor cost is 3 rupees multiplied by 12,500, you'll get 37,500. Multiplied by 22,500, you'll get 67,500. Variable overhead, they have given 60% as fixed here. So 40% of your 5 rupees is 2 rupees. Then multiply by 12,500, we'll get 25,000. Then 2 rupees into 22,500, we'll get 45,000. So total variable cost is 15 rupees here. Here it is 14.50 because we have a change in the materials here. Now total variable cost is 187,500 at 50%, 126,250 at 90%. Now what was your fixed overheads now? We had 60% of your 5 rupees. So 60% into 10,000 units. So 60% of 5 is 3 rupees into 10,000 units will get 30,000. The same fixed cost will be, because fixed cost in total remains constant. So 30,000 is carried to the, the 90% capacity also. So we'll have a profit of 25,000 here to 71,250. So at 50% capacity we have 25,000 as profit. Here 71,250. Now what is your break-even point? Fixed expenses divided by break-even contribution per unit. At 50% capacity, 30,000 divided by 4.40, it gets 6,818 units. At 90% capacity, 30,000 divided by 4.50, 6,667 units. So this is how the optimum level of capacity is calculated. Next is your suspension of activities. XYZ Limited is manufacturing 2 lakh boxes per annum when working at normal capacity. The cost information is given as follows. Direct material 8 rupees, direct labor 2 rupees, variable overheads 3 rupees, fixed overheads 3 rupees, total cost is 16 rupees. The selling price is 20 per unit. It is estimated that in next quarter only 10,000 units can be produced and sold. Management plans to shut down the plant and estimate that fixed cost can be reduced to 8,000 rupees for the quarter. The fixed overheads are incurred uniformly throughout the year. Additional cost of plant shutdown is 10,000. We just advise whether the plant should be shut down for the period of 3 months and calculate the shutdown point for the 3 months. Now what is your selling price given here? 16 rupees. So the 16 rupees is, selling price is 20 rupees. So we are going to add up and find out your contribution per unit. See, only 10,000 units can be produced, and we are going to calculate what is your fixed overhead for 3 rupees into 2 lakh rupees. We'll get 6 lakh rupees per annum. Fixed overheads for your quarter is 6 lakh rupees divided by 4. So this is your 1,50,000 is your fixed cost for a quarter. If the plant is operated, the loss is total contribution for 10,000 units. 10,000 into 3 will get 30,000. Fixed cost we have 1,50,000. So loss we have 1,20,000 units rupees. Then if plant is closed, then the loss will be unescapable fixed cost is 80,000 given in the problem, that is 80,000. Then we have an additional cost of 10,000. So we have 90,000 is your cost when the plant is closed. Now it is evident from the above calculation the plant should be closed down for the quarter. Because the loss is reduced to 30,000. So if it is closed, it is 90,000. If you are going to operate, it is 1,20,000. So it is better to close because it reduces the loss by 30,000. Now what is your shutdown point? Net escapable fixed cost is equal to total fixed cost for the period minus your shutdown cost minus your additional cost. So 1,50,000 minus your 80,000 minus 10,000 will get 80,000. This is similar to the previous problem we have seen. Shutdown point is 80,000 by 3. So when you reach this 26,667 units for 1 quarter, you can suspend your activities, because beyond this you will incur a loss. So for suspension of your business activity, only cost should not be taken into consideration. There are other factors like employees' interest, then fear of your plant obsolescence and loss of your customers in future, the government action, and we have the perishable raw material and the company having a huge stock of materials also. Based on only this decision, this factor, the decision should not be taken into account. We have to take into account the other factors also. The next is your further processing decision. A company is producing 2 products from a joint manufacturing process. The joint cost of rupees 2 lakh rupees and it has given a production of 1 lakh kgs of product X having a selling price of rupee 1 per kg and 2 lakh kgs of product Y having a selling price of 1.50 per kg. The company is considering a proposal to process product X into new product Z which sells rupees 3 per kg. The processing cost would amount rupees 1,75,000 for converting 1 lakh kgs of product X to Z. Advise the company about the acceptance or rejection of the above proposal. Apportion the joint cost according to the sales value of product X, Y, Z. Now in this problem, we have the current product as X and Y. They have an idea of replacing your X into Z. So we have another product wherein we are going to instead of X we are going to produce Z. Now when you have your 2 products, we have the joint cost as 2 lakh rupees and the production is 1 lakh kgs of X and selling price is 1 rupee per kg and 2 lakh kgs of Y wherein the selling price is 1.5 per kg. Now the product X is to be replaced by product Z, which the product Z has 3 rupees per kg and the processing amount is 1,75,000 to replace your X into Z. Now this is to be an additional cost. Now we are going to say whether the X can be replaced by Z. Now the table showing your profit under 2 different situations. We have without further processing and after further processing. We have X and Y before processing and Y and Z after processing. As we said, X is to be replaced by Y. Sales it is 1 lakh rupees, it is 3 lakh rupees, it is 3 lakh and 3 lakh. See here, it is 1 lakh kgs into 1 rupee, 2 lakh kgs into 1.5. That's why it is given 1 lakh rupees and 3 lakh rupees. Now for your product, product Z, we have 1 lakh units at rupees 3 per kg because we are replacing it for X by Z, so it is 3 lakh rupees. Y we have 3 lakh rupees, so totally we have 6 lakh rupees. Now we have a separation cost of 1,75,000. It is given as and the processing cost will have 1,75,000. So we have a processing cost. Then we have your here 4,25,000. That is we are deducting your processing cost. Then joint cost is divided in your sales ratio. It is 1:3 here. So 1:3. 2 lakh is divided into 1:3. Now it is 3:3. That is 1:1. So 2 lakh rupees is said to be the joint cost it is given. See here the first line. We have a joint cost of 2 lakh rupees. So we are dividing, dividing this joint cost in the sales ratio. That is, this is 1:3 and this is 1:1. 3:3, that is 1:1. So 50,000, 1,50,000. This is again 1 lakh and 1 lakh. So this 2 lakh rupees is divided like this. Then the profit is 50,000 for X and 1,50,000 for Y now before processing it, and we have a profit of 2 lakh rupees. Now after processing, we have 2 lakh rupees for Y and 25,000 for Z. It will be 2,25,000. So the further processing decreases the profit of Z. See here it is 1,50,000, here it is 25,000 in place of X, but increases the total profit to the firm. So further processing is profitable. Now further processing cost here it is 1,75,000 and it will decrease, the profit is only 25,000. Now the profit of X is X is to be replaced. No, 50,000 is decreased to 25,000. Though the 25,000 is decreased and we have a total profit of 2 lakh to 2 lakh 25,000. See, I'll repeat again. This X is to be replaced by Z. Now X is giving 50,000 rupees as profit, Y is giving 25,000 as profit. So we have a decrease in the profit of 25,000 and we have an additional cost of 1,75,000. In spite of these two situations, we have a total increase of 25,000 as your profit. So this processing can be acceptable. So the product X can be replaced by product Z. So these are the various decisions that a management can take with the marginal costing, and marginal costing technique is said to be a highly useful technique in the hands of the management to take various decisions. So this management is going to take into consideration the contribution a product is making towards the profit and the coverage of your fixed cost, and they are going to decide whether to accept a new order or an export order, whether to suspend your activities or to shut down a plant, or you go for your diversification of your products, or you go for your further processing decisions. And when you go in for your shutdown of your plant, what will be the exact losses you are going to suffer, etc. So all these decisions will be taken by the management with the help of the marginal costing technique. Hope you would have understood the various situations in which the marginal costing is highly useful to the management for taking the decisions. These are all the references. Thank you.